With accurate 24/7 tracking, up to 10 days of battery life, IP68 water resistance, a choice of 9 different colors and all in this lightweight compact design, the RingConn Gen 2 Air offers a convenient and comfortable way to track all of your health metrics, so let's check out what this ring can do. So full disclosure before we get started though, the video is sponsored by RingConn and they've sent me the ring to showcase to you guys. So I've spent a couple of weeks using the RingConn Gen 2 Air now, and I have to say that overall I'm a fan. My main issue with health tracking has always been that I don't like wearing a smartwatch to bed, and this means I've never been able to get good sleep data to track, but thankfully that's all changed with the RingConn Gen 2 Air. Now when ordering your RingConn smart ring, you've got the option to get a free sizing kit, and I highly recommend doing this to get the best fit. You can choose from 9 different sizes, and it's also recommended to wear them overnight as your finger can fluctuate in size throughout the day. But once you've got your size picked, you just simply pick a color, order your ring, and that's it. The ring then arrives in this nice compact packaging, and if we open it up, you can see we first get the ring, and I've gone with the silver color here. Then under that, we've got the manuals and documentation, followed by the charging dock, and then finally the USB-C cable to charge it. Now the ring itself is made of titanium steel, so it's strong and sturdy, but it's also lightweight, coming in at around 2.5 grams, and the width is 6.8mm at the thickest part and just 2mm on the thinnest part. It's also IP68 water resistant, so you don't have to worry about taking it off for a shower, and we've got a medical grade epoxy resin that's totally skin friendly. Now we've got PPG sensors that can measure the change in light absorption and reflection in the skin, as well as a temperature sensor and a 3-axis accelerometer that allows it to track sleep, stress, heart rate, SpO2, blood oxygen levels, heart rate variability, skin temperature, and more. Now when putting on the ring, it's going to work at any angle, but for best results you should put the flat bit with the sensors at the bottom of your finger. And because there's no display, it means we get exceptional battery life of up to 10 days, and the ring logs all of the data, which you can then access using your phone and the RingConn application. Now the app itself, I have to say, is nicely laid out. It's easy and intuitive to use, and even in my first few minutes using the app, I was able to find all of the metrics I needed. And we've also get a lot these days where you buy a product and get a free app, but it then keeps trying to push a paid version or a pro version that requires a monthly subscription, but thankfully that isn't the case here. The app is completely free and it's focused on my health metrics rather than trying to push any sales, which I personally like a lot. And you can also integrate it with Google Fit, and you get a choice of dark or light mode within the app. Now at the top of the page, we've got the summary, which scores our sleep, activity, relax status, and vital status. And you can see we get this bubble diagram here, but you can also change it to the square graph form if you prefer. Now underneath that, we first got the sleep data, and you can see it gives me my hours slept last night, followed by my sleep score. And if we press on that, we get a lot more data like time asleep, time in bed, and sleep efficiency. Then further down, we get a full broken down analysis of the sleep stages and how long we spent in each one, followed by our heart rate through the sleep, HRV, SpO2, skin temperature, respiratory rate, and then we've got a full sleep summary at the bottom. So as you can see, that's a lot of detail for our sleep there, and you can also switch between the days in this menu as well. The next section we have is activity, and this gives you your steps, calories, and time along with the ring on the right hand side. And again, if we press into that, you can see I get the ring with all of the detail below it. Next, we've got the step analysis with total steps and the graph. We've got activity calories along with the graph, all day calories including basal metabolism, and active calories along with the graph again. We've then got a standing time, an activity intensity graph, activity intensity ratio, exercise record, and then the activity summary at the bottom. For stress, it shows you the average stress, and again, if we go into that, we've got the overview at the top with the daily average HRV as well as the 30-day average, and then we've got the stress index, a graph of the all-day stress index, a stress ratio breakdown, sleeping stress, and then a stress summary at the bottom with a graph. For vital signs, we get the BPM and percentage, and if we go into that, we've got the vital status, which also shows significant and minor outliers if there are any. We've got our heart rate graphed over the day, SpO2 graph throughout the day, along with the average and the range at the bottom. We've got HRV graphed throughout the day, along with the average and range. We've got skin temperature that shows the average, the baseline, and the offset. And then finally, we've got respiratory rate, BPM with an average, a range, and a 7-day average. Finally, on this page, we've got exercise, where you can manually start one of the exercises shown here to log it. We've also got the edit function at the bottom, and this lets you enable or disable any of these cards from the screen, and it also lets you set the order to your preference. Now the next section in the app is the AI health plan, and if you press on this, it's going to take you through a series of questions to develop the plan for you, such as how long you sleep and what time you go to bed, etc. And it also goes through what exercises and asks what kind of exercises you actually want to do or physically can do, rather than just telling you to do certain ones. Now it even goes through your stress and how you relieve stress and what causes it. But once you've gone through all of those questions, it gives you advice for the next day, such as going to bed earlier. There's also an AI assistant that you can use to ask about information like how active you are or how well you're sleeping, or even how stressed you are. Now the next section we've got is the trend section, and essentially this is all of the information that we looked at before, but of course it's trended data across longer periods than just a single day. You can access weekly, monthly, or yearly reports, and we've got all of these sections to choose from below. So for instance, if you're trying to improve sleep, you can see how you're doing over the course of a couple of days, even weeks, months, or years. Now finally, we've got the Me section, and in here you can control your data management, such as exporting all of the data or connecting it to Google Fit. You can adjust settings such as setting goals, you can add widgets, turn on automatic nap detection or workout detection, as well as configuring the notification settings, change things like language and the units, as well as setting the first day of the week. Now you can go through and see all of the Ring information as well as changing the Ring settings, and if you lose your Ring, it can also help you find it by connecting and telling you how far away it is. Now personally, I don't actually wear rings, never have done and never thought I would, so wearing this was a little bit strange at first, but I have to say after a few hours I did get used to it pretty quickly. Now I do move the Ring about a bit as well, so most of the time it stays on my left index finger, but occasionally I move it to the other hand or even on my middle finger, depending on what activity I'm doing at the time. Now most of the time I forget it's even there, which means I really do get that 24/7 data tracking, and to be fair, I've also scratched the Ring across a few items as well as dropping it a couple of times, but as you can see, taking a closer look at the Ring, there don't appear to be any visible marks on it. Now the fact there's no display also helps with me not using my phone and apps too much. With the smartwatch, it's constantly reminding you to look at your phone or read a message, whereas with this, there's nothing at all. It just silently syncs with your phone in the background, helping you stay off your phone. Now it's pretty much a Ring that is solely focused on fitness, and they haven't put anything in there to distract you from what your goals or target is, which is great. I've never been great at sleeping, and I always take the smartwatch off before bed, so I never realized how little sleep I was getting until I started using the smart Ring. Although I'm in bed for 7 hours usually, quite often I'm getting much less sleep than that, so from now on I can make adjustments like changing the time I have my last coffee, and then look at the graph to see if I've had any improvements. But overall, I'm really happy with the Ring. It's easy to use and does exactly as advertised, and also does it really well. And of course, I've placed the link down in the description below for those of you that want to grab one, and it's currently $199, which is a great price considering all of its functionality, and it's cheaper than the RingConn Gen 2 Air, while still delivering all of the main tracking information that we need. But for anyone that does want a little more advanced options, then the Gen 2 is also an option there. The Gen 2 is a little more expensive at $299, and the differences are that it offers 12 days battery life instead of the 10. It's also built of aerospace grade aluminium, and then it also provides sleep apnea detection as well. So if those features sound good to you, then maybe consider the Gen 2 instead. Otherwise, the Air is a great choice. There is, however, an upcoming Prime Day promotion for the Gen 2 from the 8th of July, where you can get 30% off for USA customers and 20% off for global customers. And if you want to take advantage of this promotion, then I would recommend ordering the sizing kit in advance so that when Prime Day comes along, you know what size to order. Now, hopefully I've covered everything in today's video, but if there's anything I've missed or you've got any questions at all, then just ask them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest tech.